Okay, so a viewer was watching my series on rebuilding 48 RE automatic and was questioning the halo that I call it, which is my repair fixture that I've made for doing Chrysler 4-speeds, and it would work for 3-speeds also. He was asking about dimensions. I'm going to show you the video, or the clip of the video that that came in, and then I'll show you the measurements. So cut to the footage. Alright, just in case there's any questions of my transmission repair stand, the halo as I call it, basically made it out of some scrap I had laying around the shop. This piece of angle iron was actually from my snowplow, and I had some strip steel and another piece of angle iron, some threaded rod that I had used on another project. So basically 2 pieces of threaded rod. They go into some existing holes on the back of the trans case. And if you notice, I have the bolts that go through here, and I also have these washers on here. The washers are actually for a smaller bell housing, so for like a V8 application. I did one of these a few weeks ago for a 5.9 liter. It was like a 46 RH, or excuse me, 46 RE. So it's a pretty versatile little bracket. It's holds the transmission actually quite well. I think I'm going to actually lop these ends off so it's actually easier to roll over, but otherwise it works pretty well. So that's the halo. Okay, so here is the halo that's basically built out of scrap. So the backside here is a 2x2 by 3/16 angle. The front piece is 1.5 by 1/8 angle, and then the side pieces are 1.5 by 3/16 strap. And like I said, it's just basically what I had laying around. And then of course we have a couple pieces of all thread here. So as far as dimensions go, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but this thing is not square, and that is intentional. The distance between the bosses at the back of the transmission and the actual bell housing, it's not square, so it was intentionally built this way. So the well, starting at the back here, our rear support here is 18.5 inches wide, and our front one, which is the 1.5 inch, is 18.25. Our passenger side strap is 17.75 inches. Our driver's side piece is 17.25. Now, the bolt spacing on our back piece, passenger side to center of the 1/2 inch bolt hole, is 2 3/8. The driver's side to the center is 2 5/8. The front strap here, these are also 1/2 inch holes. They are basically 5 inches in from the ends. And the center of this hole to the bell housing side is 15 on center for the passenger side, and 14 5/8 on the driver's side. Now note, the angle iron is mounted this way on the back piece, and on the front side it's mounted the opposite. The bell housing sits here, comes in like this. The transmission would sit this way. The reason why I made this like this is so when we stick our all thread through, like this, you can actually have the nut on this side without any worry of it hitting the bench, and it actually gives you a little room to adjust the height to your preference. These pieces of all thread are 1/2 inch, and they're about 12.5 inches long. Again, they were something I had laying around from another project. I would make them probably closer to 14. That way you have some room on either side to adjust your height. I did taper them on this side. This screw here is kind of just there because, like I said, it's from another project. But taper these so it makes it a little easier to go through the casting on the transmission. That's pretty much it. Alright, so actually what I would recommend to do is cut the pieces all up and just kind of jig them all together on the transmission housing. You can actually do it with the transmission sitting on the oil pan. And then once you have it all kind of squared up, or fits up the way you like it, then I'd weld it together. If you don't have access to a welder, I guess you could probably bolt all the corners. That might make things easier too. Like I said, it's built out of scrap. That's why the pieces are all kind of like odd sized and everything. But at the end, all its purpose is to keep the transmission from rolling over. And, all right, so anyway, that was a shorty. I hope someone learned something from that. Hope someone can use that. As always, thanks for watching Bronco Car 92, and we'll see you again. Take care. Thanks.